Hi everyone, it's Miss Jen from the Community Arts Center, Keeping the Arts Alive. We're going to get started on the video in probably about 5 minutes. It takes about that long for everybody to join in, and so hang tight. I've got to get my computer going, and then we'll get started doing too much glue. And of course, because I'm starting to do an art class, Art Kitty showed up. The kitty that doesn't like to be held but always shows up when I go live. I don't know. Did you hear her go? Like, get me out of here. She's a fun cat. She's photobombing me now. She's really what she's looking for is water, and the water on my desk is dirty and she won't drink it. I have failed her. Bless her heart. I don't get it why she comes over here. Like, she's ignored me all day except for when I was live this morning with the preschoolers. And now here she is. She's checking out all the art supplies. Hey Carol, glad you're with me this evening. Let me get my computer going. I say that I'm doing this so I can pay attention to the questions, but then I get busy doing the artwork and I don't pay attention to the questions. But I still like to have it over here. There we go. All right, kitty kitty. So, Carol messaged that she likes to be near me. The cat likes to be near me. Carol likes to be near me too, but thanks to coronavirus, we haven't even gotten a hug for like 2 months. It's ridiculous, and I miss you. Anyway, the cat does never likes to be near me unless I'm live on Facebook. And then she wants to walk around my desk and play with my art supplies and drink my painting water, which today has too much glue in it, and she refuses to drink it, which is probably good for her. Hi, Jamie. Glad you're here with us. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. I like to give time for everybody that's going to join in to join in. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for the weekend. I know, it's Tuesday and I'm ready for the weekend already. Our weekend was super busy, and yeah, all day Saturday I worked, and then we had stuff going in the afternoon, and then Sunday we had church, and Sunday afternoon we cleaned out the garage because it was Richland trash pickup days. So we had to empty out all the stuff that's in the garage. And then we also heard that the thrift stores were opening up. And while everybody's been at home so much, we have cleaned out closets and drawers. And we have so much stuff that needs to go to the thrift store. So tomorrow is the thrift store day. But anyway, then Sunday evening we had a birthday party. And then we had some other things that had to get done Sunday evening, and then it was Monday and time to work, and I'm ready for the weekend. I really am ready for the weekend. So, all right, let's just get started. So, hi everyone. Like I haven't been sitting here talking your leg off. This is Jen at the Community Arts Center. We are keeping the arts alive in the middle of COVID craziness. I will be glad when I don't have to introduce videos with that line anymore. So tonight's lesson for elementary age kids is on glue. Jen, why do you have paint on your hands if this is about glue? You'll see. So this lesson was based on reading that Ann Kelly from Young Hearts Books up in Westmont. This reading that she did was the book called Too Much Glue. And if you'd like to see her read it, you can go to our Facebook page. It's one of the events, and it's probably also on our YouTube channel and on our website. So, Too Much Glue. She did a great job. It's about this teacher who wanted the students to only just a dot, which there are times for that, but there's also times for So when I saw that, I think Anne chose that book because she knows I love to get messy and gooey. So she probably did it to see what I would come up with for art projects to go with that book. And here's what I came up with. We are going to do collagraphs. What's a collagraph, you ask? You're going to find out. And it really is pretty fun. And then we're going to do a silhouette candle holder. I didn't have any empty jars that had a wide enough mouth to be a candle holder. Let me just say that I hadn't already painted on and decorated. And yeah, so I had these old vintage jars, and I decided to paint it blue because blue is my color and it brings me joy. I know this is backwards, but it really does say joy. And then I put blue fairy lights inside it. So we're going to make something like this. And then the last thing we're going to do, I'm calling a seascape tray. It's going to be kid-friendly epoxy resin kind of ish, only we're going to use glue. Here's the thing you need to know. We're going to use so much glue, it might take a week for this thing to dry. Because in my book, there is no such thing as too much glue. It's just not. Glue is fun. One of my favorite art forms is decoupage. And in decoupage, you use a kind of glue. So, just show you what I've been working on. I found, this is a painting box. And it had, oh, it's got papers in it, dried in oil paints. And it was ugly. So I chalk painted the interior. Wait until you see what I'm doing with that. And the outside, I painted and decoupaged. It's not done yet. Meraki is a Greek word. And the definition is going to come over here. But it's putting yourself into your artwork with your soul, your creativity, and your love. So anyway, I've had a lot of fun. It's amazing what you can do with stuff that other people call trash. Which is why my studio is full of all kinds of stuff that other people call trash, including my husband. All right, so let's get started on our first project, which is collagraph printing. Okay, so in the supply list I had for this, you need a pencil, cardboard, cardstock, scissors, glue, paint, and paper for printing on. So we are going to, this is a printing form, and this is the print for the picture that I made. And this is my collagraph. It is all about textures. This is the inside part of corrugated cardboard. This is some really heavily textured watercolor paper. This is bubble wrap up here for clouds. I used cotton string to make a tree, and then wadded up paper. This is craft foam, like the kids use. And, oh, some really fuzzy yarn. Look how fuzzy that yarn is. So it gave some great texture. So we are going to talk about how to layer up all these textures to get something that will look like a picture. So you need paper. This is, I cut in half the back of one of my drawing tablets. So it's a good 1/16 of an inch thick, pretty heavy tag board. And that's going to be our base. Paper to print on. Then just all kinds of different things. If something has a great texture, then see if you can use it. Now, this is the corrugated part, but look at the texture. Look at all those lines. That will show up really nicely on a print. What else do I have? Have bubble wrap, fuzzy yarn. Oh, jute twine. Okay, here's your pro tip for the day, whether you want it or not. Always, when you get new jute, and other strings are this way, you stick your finger inside and you pull this out, and then it always comes in from the inside and it doesn't tangle that way. So anyway, jute twine, I'm going to use this for the tree this time because the cotton twine that I used in the last one went flat too quickly, and I think jute will hold up better. Oh, you need glue. And some paint. I may or may not use black. That's why I have black paint on my hands from printing collagraphs. All right, so I'm gonna put the camera down on the desk and let's do some collagraphs. All right. Let me see where I can work from. There we go. All right. So the first thing you have to do is decide what you want to create. Now, I did a mountain landscape on this, but you know, I'm kind of in this floral stage right now, so I think I want to do some flowers. And that would be a little easier for younger elementary kids. And since this class is officially for elementary kids, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, let's see. I want the center. I'm going to do the center out of this. So I'm going to cut this big piece into, oh, I'll do a center over here. I'm going to cut basically a circle here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, I really don't want to have the center be stripy. I'd rather have it be more like lines. So I'm going to take my scissors and just score this. And, ooh, kind of bent it down one way. So I am going to come from the other directions, and then this way, and then this way. Oh, Sherry's joined us. Hi, Sherry. Glad you're here. All right. Now, I need to decide what I'm going to use for the petals. You know what I think would make even better center than this is bubble wrap. Change of plans. That's what art is all about, being able to change plans. And just because I can. Bubble wrap. All right. I think I'm going to use the foam for the leaves. This I was part of a mural I did on a wall. I had a rainforest, so I had all different kinds of leaves that I made out of, and these are the small ones left over that I made out of foam and then rolled them onto the wall. Okay, I'm going to do the petals out of this really, really heavily textured watercolor paper. This makes for beautiful designs. But it was a piece that one of the edges got messed up, so I thought, why not use it? All right. Cut these out a little faster, or we won't get anything done but a collagraph tonight. Not that that would be the end of the world. I'm going to have one of these petals be one that kind of is flopped over. Maybe even a couple of them. Almost done here. I think I can get one more. All right, now let's glue down the bubble wrap. And I don't want that to be right in the center. I think I'm going to move it off center a little bit. Oh no, there's glue on my, what will I do? There we go. Now, while you're gluing these things on, because we're dealing with so many textures, you're going to need to go back and kind of tap them into place as you go. Let's see. And I'm going to make this one be a leaf that's, or a petal that's bent over. You guys all know the different parts of a flower. Today when I was teaching the preschool early in the morning, we went over the stem and the leaf and the petals, but you guys all know that. I don't have to teach elementary kids parts of a flower. All right, now I'm going to, oops, put a little bit of glue on this one. And, excuse me for reaching across, I am going to sit this little tiny flower pot that is full of buttons on top there. And see, these are trying to pop up, so I'm just going to keep tapping them down. And it doesn't really matter that this is going off the edge of the paper. I can trim that off when it's dry, or just not put any paint on it and then it won't print. This watercolor paper would probably cooperate better if I got it just a little wet, but I don't want it to mess with the paint for the printing process. All right, so that's what our flower is looking like. Get everything pushed back down. Got a little bit of this yarn that I think I'm going to put around the edge here so that it softens the edge between the plastic and the flower. This is a good way to use up those little scraps and pieces that are laying around that you don't have enough to do a whole project. Ugh, my painty fingers have made an ugly spot there. All right, I'm gonna set this on there. Whatever you can get to weight it down so that it sticks a little better. And then I'm going to get rid of this black because I just don't feel like this print needs to be done in black. So I need you guys to tell me, what color should I do this print in? I could do white with black paper. I can do colors on white paper. I have just about every color paper there is. So you guys discuss what you would like me to do. All right. Now I think I'm going to treat this like it's the flower pot. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's going to look nice. And now, since this isn't glued down all the way, I'll just kind of stick that under there, throw some glue on. Now I need to make some leaves of some kind. And I'm thinking I'd like to have the leaves kind of flop down over the pot, and then they'll look like petals. Maybe not. I feel like there needs to be some texture over here. Hey, you guys aren't talking. What color am I supposed to be doing? I wonder what buttons would look like. We're going to find out. Because I'm going to glue some buttons down. Now, this would go together really quickly with a hot glue gun. But since the book is no more glue, and this is for kids, and kids and glue guns don't always match up too well, we'll just keep doing this. All right. I'm going to make some texture back here just for the fun of making texture. So I'm just going to, I put glue on the side over here, and now I'm just going to put some of this jute on it. Just going to go back and forth. Oh, this doesn't want to stick down. This is a sticky mess. All right. I can hear my family upstairs talking. I don't know if you can hear, but for some reason it's reminded me of when I was a little kid and the adults would ask you to leave the room and you could still hear them talking. And even though like I wasn't interested in the conversation they were having at all, it was kind of neat to hear them talking, especially at night when I was supposed to be going to sleep. Oh, I would love hearing the adults talk. It just was so comforting. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about hearing my family upstairs talking. All right. So this very simple collagraph is just about done. Now I want it to dry a little bit before I try to print, just because there's so much glue. Not too much glue, but so much glue. So I am going to turn on my little space heater, aka the glue dryer, that's down here on the floor. And I'm going to get this drying, and then we can move on to the silhouette candle holder. All right, go dry. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's summertime and I can't have the space heater on anymore. Well, I guess I could just take it outside. All right, so this is another glue project. These are really gluey fingers. I am going to there. Oh, that's much better. I would have been sitting there picking at that glue. All right, clearing out my space here. And so here's what we're gonna need. Something to mix the glue in, which I had this because I made slime earlier today. So my measuring cup was still down here. You're gonna need some kind of a jar, which I have another vintage jar that I'm gonna decorate. Food coloring or paint. Paint will do very nicely with this. Yipes. Get out of here. That yarn was trying to take over the world. What a mess. All right. So basically what we're going to do is make paint using glue. And since I don't want to mess with trying to get the glue out of this bottle, I'm going for the big one. And I'm just going to pour a pretty good sized glob on here. And all of our projects today will not be done at the end of this video. They all are going to need dry time. This one we're going to get a coat on, but really this has 3 coats on it. And I think maybe even another coat might be needed. Oh, Art Kitty's back. She's checking out my glue. I don't know. Okay, nobody told me what color to use. So you're leaving me to my own devices. I just did a blue one. I think I'm going to go for orange. One, two. I'm going to make this a little darker. Because you know that the glue is opaque right now. Get out of that. Don't drink that water. She's drinking my glue water. Crazy cat. Okay. I don't have anything to stir with over here. Ha! Craft stick. Saved. Okay. Ooh, isn't that a pretty yellow-orange? Yellow-orange? Isn't that a pretty orangey color? Ooh, I'm not a big orange fan, but that is super. Now, it won't dry that bright. It's going to dry a little darker, and that's okay. All right. Now my handy dandy paintbrush. This is one of my favorite brands of paintbrushes, and this really is a wash brush for watercolor, but I use it for everything. This is Simply Simmons. They're a decent priced brush, and they last very well as long as you take care of them. All right, so your glass jar needs to be clean, no label, and you need to wash it off with alcohol. I've done all of that in advance, so we don't have to take the time to do it. Oh, wait, one other thing. I have here a little cutout that I did with my silhouette, and I think I'm going to have some negative space on this one. So I am just going to put this leaf, which will be very appropriate for an orange bottle. And now let me get the transfer tape off. All right, so now once I get this, several coats of this on, I can take that leaf off, and it'll be clear glass underneath. Alrighty, let's get painting. Favorite part of any day is painting. Speaking of painting, on Thursday I have a painting class. Oh, and it's right up there. Let me show you. Where is it? There you go. The sunflower painting. We're going to do that. I'm going to change up the background because I'm not real happy with this background. It looks okay close up, but further away, ugh, I'm not a fan. So we'll change what we're doing for the background. The supply list is on the event page, and it is a $20 class. And there's also a supply list. So check that out on the Art Center's website. And I would love to have you guys join in that painting class. All right, back to kids crafts. So we're just covering this up. And it looks pretty gloppy on the first coat, but the second coat makes a huge difference. And by the time we're done tonight, I hope to have 2 coats on because I've got my handy dandy glue dryer going over here beside me. And it's getting a little toasty down here. I don't mind telling you. My studio is in the basement, and it's usually pretty chilly down here, which is why I have the space heater. But it's starting to get a little warmer, so it's not quite so chilly. On this jar, I'm not going to worry about painting up here because I think I'm going to wrap that in jute twine. I think that would give it kind of a autumn rustic cool look. And the mouth of this is big enough that I could get a little tea light down in there. All right, so didn't that take a long time? We've got a coat on. So I'm gonna set this down by the handy dandy glue dryer, put my brush in my glued up water. All right. Oh, this looks pretty dry now. Should we print this or do the seascape? I want to do the seascape. I'm ready to do that. We'll do this last. That way there's a little bit of section that is not dry yet. So that'll give that the opportunity to finish drying. Okay, seascape. I have sand, a couple jars of shells in different sizes. I know I have some little teeny tiny shells somewhere, but could I find them this afternoon? No. And a plastic tray. This was from Dollar Tree. Here, the quality. But for this project, it's fine. So I'm going to mix up some other glue because I'm going to need some that's blue for the water and some maybe that has a tinge of brown in it for the sand area, since my sand is white. Oh, we'll just say that we're at a white sand beach. So I'm going to put this sand in here. And Carol said I needed more glue. Well, here's more glue. Now this will dry clear. I did this one other time and I used clear glue and it was a little easier to figure out what your colors look like. But to me, this is like the inexpensive version of doing epoxy resin, which I totally love working with resin. It's so fun, but it is so not good for kids. All right, so I'm just gonna mix the glue and the sand together right here in the middle of this tray. And you want it to be pretty firm, but not so firm that it won't self-level when you're done mixing the glue and the sand. This sand needs to be completely incorporated with the glue so it doesn't flop around and go everywhere. You know, I'm getting my wish for a little bit of trouble. This little stir stick is imparting a little bit of orange into this tray. All right, this is almost done. I'm going to pour just a little more glue. This would be a cool little project to make a jewelry holder out of. If you did it not quite so big, or even if you've got a lot of rings and bracelets. I don't know anybody like that. Hey, look. Carol, I only have on 3 rings. That's really unusual for me. I love rings. And I have a lot of them. All right. So I've got my beach is done here. And I'm going to kind of pull this forward a little bit. So that, because, you know, the beach, the water doesn't hit the beach in a straight line. Then I'm going to get, oh, yeah, get my fingers into it because that's where the glory is. Painty, gooey fingers. I'm going to bring this down a little further. All right, I'm kind of liking the way this is looking, and this will not be quite as white when it dries because the glue is making it really look white. All right. Ooh, look at all that orange. Let's get that kind of mixed in a little bit. All right, now wipe that glue off. And I happen to have a jar behind me to mix glue in. So we're going to need quite a bit of blue for the ocean. That should work. And I'm going to try and do this where this is a lighter blue and then it gets darker as we go. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I'm going to start with not as much blue. And then I will put some of the glue down, then add some more blue and put some more down and then add some more blue. So we'll get hopefully a gradient that looks somewhat natural. I think I may have started with a little too much, but maybe when I'm done stirring and stirring and stirring. This is where you kind of have to have faith that it's turning out to be the color that you want, because you really can't tell, because that's a very woohoo. How was that for a descriptor? Woohoo! That's a very weird color of blue, but it's not going to be that blue when it dries. We'll lighten it down a little more. It's really going to be variants of this color, because this was done with food coloring too. If you wanted to, you could use paint. There we go. That's a little calmer. All right, so I'm just going to, let's see if I can do this from the other angle so you can see better. You know what I should do? Mix some with white paint, right? Like it's foam right at the surf. That would be cool. All right, so now I'm going to add a little more blue in, just a couple drops, or 4. I was thinking 2, but the bottle said 4. Stirring, stirring, stirring some more. It's just a little bit darker. Oh, I like that. And we'll be able to come in and we have plenty of drying time to kind of mix the border between those two. And now let's put some more in. I want this one to be pretty dark. All right. I need it to be a little darker. There, you guys can actually see that end now. All right. Oh yeah, that's a lot darker. Woo! I like that color. There's a lot of bubbles in this. I'm hoping I'll be able to get most of them out. All right, let's see if doing this like you would a cake. helps. The trusty X-Acto knife. Not helping. All right, let's see if this comes from epoxy resin, where you don't, like, bubbles are the enemy, so I kind of feel like bubbles are the enemy. Glue doesn't care about flame. Okay, that doesn't work. We'll just hope. Hope. All right. Now I'm getting some white. And I'm just going to mix a little bit in this lid, because why not? There we go. Poured a little bit in there. Okay, we're going to take a timeout from this because that orange bottle is ready for coat number 2. Somehow there's cat fur on it. All right. This is going to be really pretty when it's done. Really pretty. Oh, hey, Chris Laporta's here. Sorry I didn't notice you when you came in. You know, I'm supposed to be watching things like that, but I don't. All right. Coat number 2 is going on. Almost done already. Now, if you wanted to create something that could be washed, Mod Podge has a dishwasher version, and it does take almost a month to cure completely, and you have to do 6 or 7 coats. But with this, if you were, you know, like thinking to do 6 or 7 coats anyway, why not make it, sit it on the shelf for a month, and then you can put it in your dishwasher, and it makes it a lot more versatile. Just a little Mod Podge information. I'm a Mod Podge addict for sure. All right, so there's coat number 2. We'll come back to that in just a little bit. Back into the space heater drying unit. Now we're going to make a little bit of white for our surf. I might have gotten a little too much white in there, but we'll not know for about a week. All right. Now I'm just going to stir this up. Then I'm just going to set it over there for a minute because I want to get some swirly action going here. So first I'm going to bring the ocean right up onto that sand. And maybe over here, bring it up a little bit. All right, now I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and back and forth. And mix these 2 colors together right here where they meet. Sorry, when I'm thinking, it's hard enough for me to finish a sentence when I'm not doing artwork, but when I'm doing artwork, it is really hard to talk and finish the sentence all together. All right. This looks really cool now. I'm very interested to know what it's going to look like when the glue dries. If I can keep my cats out of it, I will post a video in a week or so, whenever this is finally dry, on this video in the comments. All right. And mixing that area in between the very darkest and the lightest. And I'm bringing some of that up in because I think I'm going to make it look like there's waves going on. And so then on the same token, I'm going to bring some of the light in here. I cannot even express to you how satisfying it is to be playing with this glue. Let me bring you down a little closer, bring the light down a little bit. That is so awesome. Like, it is so cool. And it is so fluid. Look at that rolling. Oh, this is almost as much fun as doing an acrylic pour. Almost. All right. Now I'm going to take this white and come right up here at the sand and just put a little border. Now I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little bit right up into the sand from the last wave that broke and washed back. All right, here's my big plan. I'm going to kind of waft this. Like, I'm going to have to fix that there. But I like what's happening here. Now I'm going to let it roll back on itself a little. And we'll cover up all those peaks that came in. Ooh, that looks pretty cool if you ask me. Be interesting to see what it looks like when it's dry. Okay. All right, I'm afraid if I fiddle too much with it, it'll... Uh-oh. Look! There's a glob. That's okay. It's going to be a wave. It's going to be a wave. I'll just add some more. So, summer camps. The Art Center is going to try and do on-site summer camps in July and August. So if you know anybody that has kids, let them know that we're looking at doing that. We've got them scheduled. If, you know, we're still in shutdown and we can't figure out a way to make it happen with the social distancing protocols that are in place in July and August, then we will switch and do them via Zoom. But for now, I'm so excited that we have camps on the books ready to go. caccc.org is the website. Check it out and see if there's any camps that you might be interested in. We have, in June, we're going to be doing some Zoom camps too. So hopefully we can get this going, because our kids need to be with other kids. I homeschooled my kids, and I'm a big proponent of kids spending a lot of time at home, but it's a hard adjustment for everybody. And so I'm hoping that we can hang out and have some fun. All right, now, are you thinking, Jen, you've got all those shells, what are you going to do with them? I'm thinking that. All right, so we have cool waves going. Look at them roll down, and now they're going to roll back the other way. Oh, I like what they're doing. This is where I get in trouble when I'm doing acrylic pour paintings. I have so much fun seeing what the paint's doing that I forget I should be paying attention to composition. All right, so shells. So I think I'm just going to raise you guys back up a little bit. Sorry for shaking so much there. That was not my intention. Oh, look at that, it's 7 o'clock already. So I'm going to put a row of shells, not like a row, but and I'm trying to get some of the glue to come inside the shell because I think that would be pretty. Let's see, these are a little smaller. There's one that's broken. I'm going to throw that in too, because sometimes broken things can be beautiful. That's one of the reasons I like repurposing in my artwork, is to take things that were no longer usable and give them another life. All right. So I think I'm okay with that there. Now I'm going to put some in the beach. And I'm okay with having some of the sand come up in the shell. Number one, it'll hold it in place a little better. And it will also look like there's sand in the shell. Win-win. Just realized down here all of my shells are cupped. None of them are going the other direction. So I'm gonna, if I flip them over, they have dark blue glue on them, which, you know, isn't a horrible thing, but there. Maybe one more. I have to have things in odd numbers, and I only have 2 face down over there, so. All right. Now, if you had more different kinds of shells, maybe some sand dollars and things like that, you could add those to it. But I think this looks pretty cool. And I'm cleaning up the edge over here because there's sand on it. So really, the cost of the glue, you might have $1's worth of glue in here, maybe $1.50. $1 for the tray, and maybe $1 in the cost of the shells. And it's going to be a really pretty little decorator item. And especially if your kids make it, then that makes it all the more beautiful. And of course I had to dribble some more And I dribbled some here on the beach. All right. That looks bad right there. Let's see if I can. All right. I'm going to set this aside, and seriously, this is going to take about a week to dry. If it was sunny outside, we might be able to cut it down to 3 days, sunny and warm, but so far we haven't had too many of those days, so I'm not holding my breath. So I am going to set a box over the top of it so my cats don't decide to walk on it, and it'll keep dust and cat fur from getting in it. And then I'll check it every couple of days, and when it's dry, I'm going to post it on the video here. I really, really like this. Okay, did I mention I really like that? All right, now we just have, I try to keep this at an hour, but that's not happening today. All right, let me put my sand and my shells away, and then we will print this collagraph. Collagraph. There are some amazing pieces done by people. All right. I don't know what color. Hey, Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. And it's nice to see you. Happy that you're here hanging out. Yep, yep, yep. I can't decide. All right, I'm going to go light blue and print it on black paper. So, paintbrush, that's what I need. Now, if we were doing this at the art center, I would have brayers for everybody, which is a paint roller. I don't have a brayer here. So I'm just going to use my paintbrush and slop the paint on, because it's what I've got. And this is a time in life where we use what we have. I don't have to be careful, because if this background ends up, that's okay. Just want to make sure that every bit of it has a good bit of paint on it. Oh, Neelam's here too. Hi, Neelam. Thanks for joining in. So for those of you that just recently joined, this is a collagraph. It's a way of printmaking using different items that have texture. And so we have heavy textured watercolor paper. This fuzzy stuff right here. This is cardboard. This is the corrugated part of cardboard. And we also have some jute twine. So I'm just going to put a piece of paper over this, and check to see how it prints. So I just want to make sure that everything has the opportunity. Okay. Seriously, people, that looks nothing like a flower. So this watercolor paper didn't get enough paint on it. It absorbed all of the paint. So we're going to put more paint on it this time. And maybe it will have absorbed enough that it will have paint to spare. So when you're doing artwork, it doesn't always have to be perfect the first time. Some of you know that I illustrated a book, and the cover was a very intricate drawing. Do I have it down here still? No, I took it back upstairs. And it took me, I think, 6 times to get the cover right. And usually it was at the end, because I'm not good at drawing people, and I kept waiting until the very end to draw the fairy princess on the cover. And so finally I figured out that what I needed to do was draw the fairy princess first, and then if it messed up, I didn't have like 50 hours of drawing. All right, let's see if this looks anything like a flower this time. We're getting closer. Not too much closer, but a little closer. Okay. Okay, here we go. More light blue paint, and I'm going to just put it here and not anywhere around it. So these will, the petals will have heavy paint, and the other things will just be like in the distance. So how we put the paint on can contribute to the outcome. So I want the pot to be a pretty good part of it too. So I'm just putting a little bit of paint on it. All right. Here we go. Print number 3. It looks like a flower now. Yay! Okay, so now I'm going to do it on black, because I think the light blue and the black will look really good. Let's see, I want those bubbles to show up a little bit. My poor yarn here in the middle is looking pretty sad. Let's get these buttons a little bit of paint on them too. All right, black paper. Let's go. Let's see what we end up with. The pressure's on, my friends. The pressure is on. Ah. Yay! Oh, I like the way this turned out. I like it a lot. So, Collagraph. Google it, Collograph, and see some of the fabulous things that people are making. All right, so, too much glue. There is no such thing. This has been a lot of fun. I have had a good time. We've made a collagraph where we glued different textures onto a piece of cardboard and created a painting. We used glue and food coloring to make this cool jar, and I think I am going to take the leaf off. No, I'm not. Guess what? The leaf was pulling off. Let's see if I can get an angle where you can see it. The glue was pulling up from it. So guess what? The leaf is going to stay on it. It'll be a silhouette. So using glue and food coloring, we changed the color of these awesome jars. And we made this super fabulous seascape tray. And we used a lot of glue. I'm going to say we used a good 5 ounces of glue. And this is going to take forever. But look at how cool this thing looks. I have to move this back down. Nope, not going to happen. Look at how cool that looks. I can't wait to see how it turns out when it's all dry in a week or a month or however long. Thanks for hanging out with me. Remember, check out Ann Kelly's shop, Young Hearts Books in Westmont, and watch the video of her reading Too Much Glue, because it is a funny and sweet book about family. And I think we're done, all done, but me saying this is Jen at the Community Arts Center. And remember, always put your stuff away, be kind, and God bless you. I love you guys. Mwah!